Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So far we have completed 3 modules, and today we are going to start with module number 4. Module number 4 is all about 6 knowledge areas. So in this module, I am going to explain you what is a knowledge area. Then after that we are see what are the 6 areas where the BA should have complete knowledge. So I will explain what are those 6 areas. Like we are going to see with all those 6 knowledge 6 areas, and each and every knowledge I will be explaining in detail. Okay. Now coming to 6 knowledge areas, first, can I know what do you mean by a knowledge area in general? Any guesses? What do you mean by the term knowledge area? Yes, guys. Yeah, Abhishek, you want to say something?
Yeah, things that you need to know to become a successful BA
Okay.
or skills, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So knowledge area is nothing but the capability or condition of a BA. Okay. So the capability of a BA in understanding a particular task and what kind of activities is going to do to solve those tasks. That means how much knowledge is having in understanding a particular task and what kind of activities is going to do to complete that task. So that is nothing but knowledge area. Okay. So we have 6 areas where the BA has to have complete knowledge in order to have his job without any hurdles or without any problems, in order to do his daily roles and responsibilities without any problems. So these 6 knowledge areas are also known as the stages of a BA or the daily in and out work of a BA. Okay. So why these are known as the stages of a BA or the daily in and out work of a BA means, once you know about all these 6 knowledge areas, if you deeply observe, all these 6 knowledge areas explains the complete roles and responsibilities of a BA. Okay. That means what a BA is going to do from in day in time to day out time. So it explains all those things. So that's the reason it is known as the stages of a BA or the daily in and out work of a BA. Okay. So here, what are those 6 knowledge areas means? Enterprise analysis, then requirement planning and management, then requirement elicitation, then requirement analysis and documentation, and requirement communication, and solution assessment and validation. That means the BA should know about the BA should know how to do enterprise analysis, and he should know how to do requirement planning and management, and he should know what is requirement elicitation and how to do requirement gathering. Then he should know about requirement documentation and communication and solution assessment and validation. Okay. So I'm going to explain about each and every knowledge area in detail. So first we will start with enterprise analysis. Okay. So about enterprise analysis, I have given you some information in module number 2, that is SDLC process and phases. So in that I have explained what is enterprise analysis in first place, requirement planning and enterprise analysis phase. So for your reference, once again, let me explain. Enterprise analysis is the first step which we are going to do in the process of development of a project. Okay. So by doing enterprise analysis, you can identify the business requirements in a project and you can document those business requirements. Then it also helps, enterprise analysis also helps in giving solution to a particular problem in the project, or you can identify how to achieve the objective of a project. Okay, so we are going to start the implementation of a project by doing enterprise analysis. Okay, so here you can see some points. Provides context and requirement analysis and solution identification. Then often the starting point of for initiating a new project, and business requirements are identified and documented through enterprise analysis activities. Now here we have different enterprise analysis techniques. So I'm going to explain you some techniques. Now don't assume that all the companies are going to follow any one of this technique, but nearly 95% of the companies are going to use any one of these enterprise analysis technique. And there are some companies which are going to use their own enterprise analysis techniques. So here we are going to see mainly with 6 different enterprise analysis techniques. What are those means? The first one is Pareto analysis. Second one is Fishbone analysis. Third one is SWOT analysis. Fourth one is gap analysis. And fifth one is feasibility study. And sixth one is business case writing. Okay. So out of these 6, first 2, that is Pareto analysis and Fishbone analysis, are outdated. Okay. So other 4 are in live. So the companies are going to use any one out of this 4, but I am going to explain Pareto analysis also. So first one is Pareto analysis. Pareto analysis is nothing but, here the name Pareto means it is the name of the scientist or researcher who has invented this analysis. So what Pareto want to say is how the minimum number of causes is going to show impact on the overall production. Okay. So this Pareto analysis is also known as 80/20 rule. Now what is 80/20 rule means? 80% of the problems are going to occur because of 20% of common reasons. Okay. So whatever the problems you are having in your particular project, so 80% of those problems will be due to 20% of the common reasons. For example, if I take an IT company, assume that there are 10 problems in an IT company. Out of that, 80% means it comes to 8 problems. So if we analyze these 8 problems, will have 20% of common reasons. Okay, like what could be the common reasons in an IT company? So the first one is A IT company may have a finance problem if it is having good resources and good projects. That is one problem. Second one is if IT company has a good financial resources, it may not have proper projects. Or if a IT company have proper projects and proper finance, it may not have proper human resources. So these are some common problems. So what Pareto want to say is, whenever you do enterprise analysis, first you have to identify the common problems in a project. And once you identify common projects, you can solve those common problems easily. So when you solve common problems easily, the problems that are associated with the other problems which are associated with these common problems will be automatically solved, or you will get an idea how to solve those problems. Okay. So how we are going to do enterprise analysis here means, first you have to identify the common problems and you have to solve them. So once you solve them, automatically the other problems which are associated will be cleared, or you will get a solution automatically to solve the other problems. Okay. So that is nothing but Pareto analysis. So here if you see, there are some points. Pareto analysis is a formal technique. Selects a number of the most effective actions that deliver a total benefit reasonably. So Pareto analysis is a creative way of looking at cause of problems. So it should be combined with analytical tools such as failure mode and effect analysis and fault tree analysis. So this Pareto analysis you can use in your life also. Okay. For example, if you take a cricket match, assume that India is winning that match. If you analyze that match, 80% of the team is going to keep 20% out of that entire team. 80% of the people are going to keep their 100% effort. Okay. That means the batter may be batting well, or the fielder may be fielding well, or the bowler may be bowling well. In the same way, if you take Indian population, assume that Indian population is of 100 crores. So 80% of the population will be having same 20% of common problems. That means out of 100 crores, 80 crores of people will have some common problems, like they will suffer with food, butter and shelter in this way. Okay. So this one is outdated. Then second one is fishbone analysis. So it is also known as fishbone diagram. And this fishbone analysis explains the relationship between cause and effect. So it helps in identifying or brainstorming the exact solution when multiple solutions are available. That means for a problem, if multiple solutions are available, with the help of fishbone analysis, we can identify what could be the exact solution. Okay. So how means, I will explain this. Here in fishbone analysis, what we will do is, this straight line is nothing but break-even point, the big one, and these upper lines are nothing but causes and lower lines are nothing but effects, and this round shape which is looking like a head, it is nothing but defect ratio. Okay. Now let me give an example. If a man can complete a work, there is a particular work. So if I am going to assign that work to a person, he can complete that work in 5 days if he is going to work 8 days per day. Okay. And he is going to complete that work in 5 days if he is going to work 8 hours per day, and per day we are paying $40 as his wages. So listen carefully. So man can complete a work in 5 days and the wages we are paying is $200 for 5 days, daily $40. And if the same work, if I am going to do on a machine, the machine can complete the same work in 3 days. If I am going to run the machine 8 hours per day, and the expenses I am incurring to run the machine daily is $40. So total expenses is 40 into 3 days, that is $120. Okay. Now machine can complete that work in 3 days and the expenses we are incurring is $120. And man can complete that work in 5 days and the wages we are paying is $200. Now which one you select? Whether you go with machine or whether you go with person? Any answers? Yes guys? Which option you select?
Logical answer. Logical would be machine.
So obviously you are going to select machine because machine is going to take less time and the expenses we are incurring also less. So here the scenario is very clear. So you have selected machine as an option. But if the scenario changes, now machine and man are going to take same time and same cost. That means machine is going to complete the work in 5 days and the expenses we are incurring is $200 for 5 days. And person can complete the work in 5 days and the wages we are paying to the person is $200. Now in this scenario, which one you select? Whether you go for machine or whether you go with person? Any guesses?
The one with the less defects.
Exactly. So here what you are going to do is, depending upon the scenario, you are going to check which app option is having less defects. So whatever the option is having less defects, then you are going to select that option. For example, assume that after this work, I don't have any kind of work. Now in this scenario, I will select person. Why person? In the sense, after completion of this work, I can say to a person that we don't have any work, so there is no need to come to office. Or I can train the person in any other process and I can move that person to that process. That is possible. So if I select machine in this particular scenario, what happens means after this work, if you run the machine or not, but there is a maintenance expenses. So every month you have to do maintenance to the machine like oiling or greasing or servicing. So the overhead cost will be there to the company. And moreover, I can't use the machine in any other process. It is an automated one. We can't use in any other process. And we can't keep the machine without a service or maintenance. So it will become overhead cost. So that's the reason I use person. So in this way, the fishbone diagram helps us to select the proper option when multiple options are available to solve a particular project. So depending upon the defects and everything, we are going to take this decision. Okay. So but Pareto analysis and fishbone analysis are outdated. Then next third one is SWOT analysis. So SWOT. Okay. So S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats. Strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. So when we are going to do SWOT analysis means, once if the client give projects to a IT company, so the HR team or ongoing team, they are going to assign this project to the project manager. Now project manager will conduct a kickoff meeting and he will finalize the resources that has to work for this project and give sign off on that kickoff meeting. And after that, he will call the BA and he will ask the BA to do SWOT analysis. he will say, I want to know the strength, weakness, and opportunities and threats related to this project. Then the BA is going to do SWOT analysis. Okay. So how we are going to do means, in this way we are going to do, that means strength and weakness we are going to take in this way. Then strength and weakness, if you take horizontally, strength and weakness are internal parts which we can control. That means we have a control on strengths and weakness. And opportunities and threats are external. So these will be not in our control. We cannot control. Okay. And if you take vertically, so strengths and opportunities will helpful to the organization, and weakness and threats are harmful to the organization. Okay. Now, how to do SWOT analysis? I will explain in a general way now, but related to a particular project, we are going to see after completion of all our 13 theoretical modules, we will have 2 real-time projects. So when I explain about real-time projects, in that project, I will explain how to do SWOT analysis. But in general, I will explain now. Now assume that you have completed this training and you have given interview for couple of companies, and assume that there are 3-4 offers in your hand. Like you got an offer letter from 3-4 companies. Now you are in a dilemma to select which company. Now what you will do? You will start doing SWOT analysis. So first, you will start with strengths. So you will take a company and you will try to identify what are the strengths of that particular company. Now assume that that company is a level 5 company. That is one strength. And financially, it is very well. That is second strength. And it is into existence since from 30 or 40 years. So it is a whole company. That is third one. And fourth one is that company is into only unique applications. That means they are going to develop only like loan management services or account management services. In that way, they are into only unique applications. That is fourth advantage. And there is no work pressure in that company. Okay. So you have identified strengths in this way. Then after that, you will calculate what are the weaknesses. Now, first weakness is, even though the company is a level 5 company, there is no cab facility. That means the distance between you staying and the company place is far. Like if you want to go to your company, you have to travel 1.5 hour. So for going, it will take 1.5 hour, and for coming, it will take 1.5 hour. So total 3 hours you are going to waste in transport. Then second one is, this company is not paying wages as per the market standards. Then third one is, this company is not giving promotions or hikes every year. Okay. Then fourth weakness is, even though the company is financially strong, but it have limited number of projects. In this way, you will identify the weaknesses. Then next comes to opportunities. So opportunity is something like, you know what are the strengths and weakness of the particular company, and you will take a decision. Okay. Now you are taking a decision. Okay, let it be, there are weaknesses for this company, but even though I want to join in that company and I want to get pioneer in the technology, whatever they are using. So I want to learn that technology. I want to get a full knowledge on that technology, so that after 2 years, I can move to some other company with better package and with better facilities. So this is your thought, and you are taking an opportunity to join in that company. Okay. Now threats. Threats are something which is going to cause a damage. Okay. Now you have joined in this company by expecting something, but it is not happening. Now you thought you have to work 2 years for this company, and after that, after getting complete knowledge on that particular process, so you can just go to other company. But you have worked for 2 years, you got complete knowledge, you become pioneer in that process. But what is happening means there are no openings in the market because you are working under a unique technology. So there are no openings. And second thing is your company is not giving any hikes or promotions. Okay. Now you completed 5 years, 6 years. Assume that after that you got some openings. When you apply to that openings, so that company said that you are overqualified. Now what happens? You have to stick this company with whatever the salary they are providing. So you are killing your development, you are killing your future. So first of all, you have limited your knowledge by sticking to only one technology. And second one is there is no option. Now you have to work in that company with the salary whatever they are providing. So in this way threat should be there. Okay. This is how you are going to identify strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Now why I said strengths and weakness are internal and which can be controllable. That means a weakness, we can convert our weakness into strengths. That is possible. How? In the sense, now if I take this example, whatever I have explained, now that company is having some weaknesses. So what that company board of directors will do is they are going to arrange a meeting with the management and they will ask the management why employees are joining our company and within 1 or 2 months they are giving resign. What is the reason? Then the management explains the problems. So they will say our company is not providing cab facility, that is one reason. And second one is we are not providing salaries as per the market, that is second reason. And third one is like we are not giving promotions and hikes every year. So these are the three reasons the management will explain to the board of directors. Now board of directors will take a decision and they will say, okay, from now onwards, you provide cab facility to each and every employee. You arrange cabs. Second one is, so you increase the salary as per market standards. Then third one is, every year you start giving promotion and hikes to the employees. Now what is happening? You are converting your weaknesses into strengths. So that is possible. It is in your hands. Okay. So when you convert your weaknesses into strengths, it will be helpful to the organization. Now, as I said, opportunities and threats are external, which cannot be controllable. That means we can't say when we are going to get an opportunity and we can't say when we are going to get a threat to our business. Okay. For example, now opportunities, as I said, okay, let me give an example. Now you have developed a product-based project. You have developed a product. Okay. Now you completed development and you are doing advertisement for this product. Now your target is to get maximum of 5 leads from this advertisement. But once you started doing advertisement, assume that you got 10 leads. That means you got an opportunity that you did not expect it. Okay. Now out of these 10 leads, there is one client who said that he liked our product very much and he want to take our product. Okay. But he says right now, he says like this, right now I'm going to States. So once I am back from the States, I'm going to take this project. Now what you will do, your executive will take the contact details of the client, like his name, email ID and mobile number. And after 1 month, your executive will make a call. Then the client says, yeah, I do remember, but right now still I am in States. I did not come back. So within 15 days, I will be coming back and I will take. Then after 15 days, again your executive will make a call. So he says, yeah, I came to India, but I am stuck with some personal problems. So give me some time. So after that, I will definitely take. Now you will wait for 15 20 days. Again, your executive will make a call. And again, this client is going to say some cock and bull story. Okay. Now your executive is going to give a maximum number of trials. So like 3 times or 4 times. And after that, he will close this lead saying that there is no proper response from the client. Now, after 6 months, if this client is making a call back to you and says, now I am free, I want to take this project, it is an opportunity that you are going to get. That means you have already closed this lead, but unfortunately the client is coming. So here you are getting an opportunity. So we can't expect when opportunity comes. In the same way, threat. That means in the business, we can't expect when our competitor is going to enter into the market. Okay. So for example, assume that you are running a supermarket. So there is only one supermarket in that potential area around 5 kilometers. So there are 5,000 families in these 5 kilometers, and in these 5 kilometers within this radius. So you are the only one person who are having supermarket. Now what you are doing, you are thinking in a cunning way. So you are not maintaining the quality. You are selling the products with high price, more than MRP. So you are assuming that there is no competitor for me. So these people has to come to me to purchase something. So you are thinking that you are a monopoly. Now what happens? Someone is going to observe all this. And what he will do? In the next street, he will start a supermarket. And he will provide good quality. And he is going to sell the products with lesser price. Now what happens? The customers will start moving to that supermarket. So you can't say when you can get competition for your business. That is nothing but threats. So opportunities and threats are external factors. They are not in our hands. Okay. So in this way, we are going to do SWOT analysis. Okay. So just go to the notes once. If you complete, just let me know. I will go to next page.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Completed reading this?
Done.
Yes.
Done.
Okay. Then next comes to gap analysis. What is gap analysis means? The difference between as is and to be process, or the difference between current state and the desired state, is nothing but gap analysis. Always remember, in a project, the current state or current process and desired state or desired process should be same. in case if there is any difference between these two, then the project will give bugs. So we have to identify what is the difference. That is nothing but gap, and we have to fill that gap. Okay. For example, let me explain in a simple way. Now you are staying alone in the city. So a childhood friend of you from your village, he makes a call and he says, I want to come to city and I want to stay with you. Then you will say, okay, come. Then he will come and he will start staying with you. And after 2-3 days, you will ask your friend to bring vegetables from the supermarket. Now you will say, I don't know how to go. Now you will explain. Okay. So whatever you are explaining is nothing but desired state. Okay. So you will say to your friend to go in a straight direction for 3 miles. So once you go for 3 miles, right side you can find supermarket, and from there you can bring vegetables. So that is desired state, whatever you have explained. Now your friend starts going. So that is nothing but present state. So after going 1 mile, what he will do? He will take left turn, and again he take right turn, and again he take left turn. Somehow he will do the supermarket and he will take vegetables and he will come back. Now after coming back, he will ask you, you said the supermarket is of 3 miles, but for me it got 5 miles. Then you will say, no, I am the person who is going to bring vegetables daily. It will be exactly 3 miles. Now your friends start fighting. No, I got 5 miles. Now what you will do? You will start doing analysis. So in this process, you will ask your friend, what is the way you went? Then your friend says, so after going 1 mile, I have taken left turn, and again I have taken right turn, and again I have taken left turn in this way. Now you will scold him. I said to go in a straight direction, then it will be 3 miles. It is your problem. You have taken wrong direction. That's why you have got 5 miles. So now when you came to know that there is a difference of 2 miles, when you started analyzing, you came to know that your friend did not follow the way you said. Okay. So that's the reason he is getting extra 2 miles. So that is nothing but gap analysis. So here the desired process is not same as the present process. Because of that, the gap has come. So it happens same in the projects also in IT company. We the BAs are going to explain the requirements to the developers, and we are going to document those requirements, and we will say to the developer, you have to develop in the same sequence or in the same way, in the same manner which I have explained in the documentation. That is desired process. Now let us assume that we are giving ATM application system, and we will give 5 requirements in a sequence. Like first one is login, second one perform transaction, third one is bill payment, fourth one is request for checkbook, and fifth one is maintain database. And we will say to the developer that you have to develop in same sequence. So that is desired process. And the way the developers are going to develop, that will be the present process. Okay. Now they have developed the ATM application system and it went to the production, and after some weeks the project manager will call you and he will say this project is giving many bugs, so please do gap analysis. Now what we will do? First we will check with the developers. We will ask the developers, this is the process I have explained. Did you follow this process and did you develop these requirements in the same sequence? Then the developer will say, no, I have changed the sequence. So I did not develop the requirements in order. I have changed the sequence. Then you will ask why you have changed. Then the developer says, it made my work easily. Then you will scold the developer. Because I clearly explained that you need to follow the sequence. Because you did not follow the sequence, here project is giving bugs. So request for checkbook option should be available only for VIP customers. So in that before requirement, I have given some conditions. So based on that conditions, the system will give this option only to VIP customers, but you have changed that sequence, so system is not taking that conditions. Now request for checkbook option is available for all the customers. So the client is shouting on us. So in this way, you are going to identify the gaps. So you have to map the desired process is same as the current process or not. In case if it is different, you have to identify the difference, and that difference is nothing but gap. Okay, so you will try to fill up that gap. This is one type of doing requirement analysis, enterprise analysis. Then next one is feasibility study. So about feasibility study, I have already explained in our SDLC module, that is module number 2. So in feasibility study, we are going to have 4 parameters. Each and every requirement has to satisfy that 4 parameters. If any requirement is not satisfying any one of this parameter, then we are not going to take in the development process. So what are those 4 parameters means? Legal feasibility, economic feasibility, technical feasibility, operational feasibility. That means whatever the requirements we are developing, it should be legally accepted, and then whatever the requirements we are keeping, that means the investment you have done on that requirement and the result which you are getting should be equal to that investment or should be more than that investment, the value or the result. That is economic feasibility. And technical feasibility means if you are giving a requirement to the developer, he has to find a logic to develop that requirement technically. So in case if there is no logic, then we are not going to keep that in the development process. And operational feasibility means whatever you have developed, it should be used in practical. If you are developing something, but if you are unable to use that in practical, then it is waste. So each and every requirement has to satisfy these 4 feasibility parameters. Okay. Then the last one is business case writing. So generally business case writing will be done by the project managers, but in some companies they will give option to a BA to do this business case writing. Okay, so there are some steps to do business case writing. So what are those? Those means situational assessment and problem statement, project description, solution description, cost and benefit analysis, implementation timeline, critical assumptions and risk assessment, conclusions and recommendations. Okay, so these are some steps. So here business case and the steps differ from project to project, company to company, based on the project. So these are some steps related to Nina plant. But if I take another project, the steps may be differ. So there are some standard steps which you need to follow. So what are those means? Let me explain. The first one is project name. So you have to give a project name. Let us assume that ATM application is my project. Then project description. So you have to write some description about this project. Like I'm going to give some description. This ATM application we are going to use to withdraw or transfer or deposit money from ATM center without going to the banks. Okay. Then problem statement. Third step is problem statement. So in problem statement, before implementing this ATM application, what are the problems that client has faced? We are going to identify and we have to write all those problems in a sequence. So that is nothing but problem statement. Okay, we will explain all the problems. That means before ATMs, before there were no ATMs, what people used to do, so they used to go to the bank, they used to for deposit or for transfer or anything, they used to stay in line for hours together, and there is a lengthy process. They have to follow that process even for small transaction. So to take a small transaction, it used to take nearly 2 or 3 hours. But here after implementing ATM centers, you are completing that within 5 minutes. So in this way, we are going to explain the problems. Okay, that is nothing but problem statement. Then in the fourth step, how implementation of this project is going to solve those problems. And if solved, how many problems are solved, that we are going to explain. That means how implementation of this ATM application system is going to solve the existing problems. Okay. Then in the fifth step, what we are going to explain means, like, do we need to make any organizational changes to implement this project or not? Okay. That means whether in the process and structure, do we require to make any changes, or we can make the changes with the same process and structure or not. Then in the next step, we are going to explain, can we do this project with the available resources or any extra resources are required. Okay. Then in the next step, we are going to do cost benefit analysis. That means how much we have, how much amount we have invested, and what kind of profit we are getting. That is nothing but cost benefit analysis. Then in the next step, we are going to do ROI, that is return on investment. So cost benefit analysis is different and return on investment is different. Cost benefit analysis means how much we are investing and what is the profit we are getting. And return on investment means how you are investing. For example, if you are investing $1,000, let us assume that you are taking a loan and investing. So you have to pay that loan in 5 months. That means every month $200 you have to pay, and assume with interest you have to pay $250 for 5 months. Okay. Now you have to check the returns. That means with this project, every month you need to get more than $250. For example, if you are getting $500 as your profit returns, then $250 you can pay to the bank and $250 will be your profit. In case if you are getting $150 as return, then what happens? Every month again $100 you have to put from your pocket. So that is not advisable. In this way, we are going to do return on investment. Okay. So these are the steps we are going to follow to do business case writing. So these are the 6 different enterprise analysis techniques that are there in the market. So out of these 6, as I said, Pareto and Fishbone analysis are outdated, and others, the companies are going to use other techniques to do enterprise analysis. Okay. Then second knowledge area is requirement planning and management. So in this, we are going to do identifying stakeholders, stakeholder listing document, stakeholder summary, gathering requirements, and RSEA chart. So identifying stakeholders, in the sense I have explained how to identify the correct stakeholders. So correct stakeholders means the people who are related with the ongoing project. So once you get the project, you will identify who are related with this project, ongoing project, and we will identify the correct stakeholders. Then once you identify, we are going to list them. For example, assume that you have identified 20 stakeholders and you are going to prepare a list in a sequence. You will write all the 20 names in a sequence and their email IDs and their mobile numbers and their designation. So that is nothing but stakeholders listing document. Then stakeholder summary. Stakeholder summary means here you have to gather requirements from 20 stakeholders. Now assume that only 15 stakeholders has given requirements, has given information. So other 5, like they did not give. The reasons could be like they are not available, or they are not willing to give, or they are not responding to you. Now in stakeholder summary, what you are going to do is you are going to prepare the list only with these 15 stakeholders. You are going to write all those 15 stakeholders names in a sequence, their designation, their mobile number, their email ID, and then what kind of information they have given. So you are going to delete the 5 stakeholders which did not give. So that is nothing but stakeholder summary. Okay. And about gathering requirements, we are going to see in next knowledge area. And RSEA chart is something which we are going to prepare in a Excel sheet. Like in one column, we are going to specify who are responsible persons. In the same way, second column who are accountable, and then third who are consulted, and then fourth who are informed. Then we are going to write. So for who are responsible for this project. Then under that we are going to write the project manager, delivery manager. So whoever responsible, we are going to write those names, and accountable. So whether the accountability goes to the complete team or only the management team or only the technical team, that we are going to specify. And consulted. So to gather requirements or to take any information whom we need to consult, that we are going to specify. And informed. That means after gathering requirements, to whom we need to inform, whether you directly inform to project manager, whether you directly inform to delivery manager, or whether you directly inform to lead business analyst. So whoever is responsible, those persons names we are going to write. That is nothing but RSDA chart. Okay. So this is about second knowledge area. So just go through the notes.
I'm done.
Done.
Okay. Then we will see with third knowledge area. So third knowledge area is requirement elicitation or gathering. So from day one, I'm saying I'm going to explain you different requirement gathering techniques, how to gather requirements. So this is the day. Today I'm going to explain all those requirement gathering techniques. So before going into requirement gathering techniques, let me explain what is requirement gathering. So requirement gathering is nothing but the art of digging up the information, or the art of pulling the information, or putting the information together, is nothing but requirement gathering. That means we are going to collect information from different stakeholders. If I say different stakeholders, it could be like vendors or users or internal stakeholders or external stakeholders. And what kind of information you are going to gather means it could be related to business requirements, or it could be related to user requirements, or it could be related to solution requirements. Okay. So we are going to collect this information and we are going to put together for the development of the project. So here the BA should be very professional, and you should be very patient to gather requirements. So here we have nearly 10 requirement gathering techniques. What are those means? The first one is brainstorming, second one is document analysis, and third one is like prototyping, fourth one is reverse engineering, and fifth one is focus groups, sixth one is observations, seventh one is workshops, eighth one is interviews, ninth one is surveys, and 10th one is jar sessions. Okay. So these are the 10 different requirement gathering techniques. let me explain each and every technique in detail with examples like how we are going to do requirement gathering in that particular process and for which project we are going to do. Okay. So first we will start with brainstorming. So by seeing this image, what you are understanding, can anyone let me know? So what you are understanding by this?
Just sitting and thinking of all possible ideas.
Okay, possible ideas. So brainstorming is nothing but generating ideas with an individual or with a group of individuals. Okay. And once you generate ideas, you are going to document those ideas and you are going to review those ideas and you will check whether these ideas are near to our project or not. In case if these ideas are near to our project, then we are going to keep that ideas in our requirement gathering process. Okay. So this technique generally we are going to use for new implementation projects. When I say new implementation means the entire concept is new. That means there is no competitor or there is no substitute for this process. For example, if I take 15 years back in India, so there is no concept called as Paytm or Swiggy or Ola cabs or Uber cabs. So these all are new projects. So when they develop these projects, they will do a lot of brainstorming. That means they will take different ideas into consideration. Okay. So how the process goes means in brainstorming, there will be nearly 8 to 12 individuals. Okay. So first they are going to identify a place. So they are going to select a place where there is complete silence and pleasant atmosphere is available. Generally, they will look for conference rooms, conference halls. So these 8 to 12 people will be there in the conference room, and SME, that is subject matter expert, he will be entering into the conference room and he will give a topic. On that particular topic, this 8 to 12 individuals has to give different ideas, and this subject matter expert will keep on noting those ideas. So once they complete, the subject matter expert is going to document these ideas and he will review, and whatever the ideas that are very near to the project, he will take that ideas and he will keep in the initial requirement gathering process. Okay. So this is the way we are going to gather requirements with brainstorming technique. Then second one is document analysis. So this document analysis we are going to use for enhancement and migration projects. So enhancement project means if you want to make some additions or deletions or modifications for the betterment of the project, that is nothing but enhancement. And migration means if you want to transfer the code from if you want to migrate from one company to another company, or if you want to migrate from old technology to latest technology, that will become migration. Okay. So for this project we are going to use document analysis. So here how the process goes means, like you are going to have a documentation for the current process. So whatever the process you are following, there will be a documentation for that process. And if you want to modify this process, then you are going to take some information from the existing document, like number of users, number of interfaces, and you are going to create a document for the modified process or new process. So when you create a document, then two sets of documents will be available. One is for current process and another one is for modified or new process. So when you combine and relate these two set of documents, so whatever the new things you have done in the modified or new process, that new things are nothing but requirements. Okay. So with the help of document analysis, you can do gap analysis and as is and to be process also. Okay. So this is another technique. Then third one is prototyping. About prototyping, I have already explained. This is nothing but evolutionary methodology. Okay. So here another important gathering technique is prototyping. So this technique we are going to use for those projects where there is heavy risk in the project and the requirements keep on changing. So for those kind of projects, we are going to use prototyping. So how we are going to gather requirements means, first we are going to prepare a prototype with the initial requirement and we will show it to the client and we will take his approval, and we are going to keep that prototype in the development process. And in the meantime, so the developer will be kept engaged by developing this prototype, and in the meantime the designer is going to keep on adding some features to that prototype. So he will keep adding some features and again he will develop new prototype and again we will show it to the client. So if client is okay with the design and everything, he will give permission. If the client is not satisfied, he will give changes. Again, we the BS are going to take the changes to the designer and ask him to redesign as per the client requirement. Then again the designer is going to modify that, and after that again is going to show to the client. This time if the client is okay, then he will give permission. Then we will go to the developer and we will say, this is the second prototype, you need to develop the code. Then the again developer will be kept engaged. And in the meantime, again the designer is going to add some features and again develop new prototype. So in this way, it goes on. Okay. So that is nothing but prototyping. So here you can see in the image. So the designer is designing a prototype for mobile application. So he will give this to the BA. So the BA will show this to the client, saying that this is the first screen which you are going to get. Now the client is going to see this and he will say, okay, screen is good, but I want some changes. So here we are getting only 6 icons on the first screen. I don't want 6 icons, I want 9 icons. So decrease the size of each icon and ensure that we are getting 9 icons. Then the BA will note this and he will go to the designer and he will say, the client want 9 icons in that. So decrease the size of each icon and ensure that 9 icons are coming in this screen. Then designer is going to decrease the size and he will ensure that 9 icons are coming, and he will prepare that prototype and show it to the BA. Then BA will take to the client and show it to the client. Now client says, okay, now this is fine, you can put in the development process. Now what BA will do, he will take this prototype to the developer and he will say, this is the first screen, you have to develop the code for this prototype as it is. Then the developer will start developing the code. And in the meantime, what designer will do, so designer will prepare a prototype. In case if you are clicking on the first icon, what screen should appear? So that screen, that prototype is going to prepare. And he will give to the BA and BA will show to the client. He will take the client authorization and then he will come to the designer, developer and say, after completing first prototype, this is the second prototype. You have to develop the code for the second prototype. And again, the designer will be kept engaged. And in the meantime, the designer, what he will do is, when you click on the second icon, what kind of screen it should appear? What are the fields that it should come? So he will design that prototype and he will give to the BA. BA will show to the client and take authorization and again come to the developer and says, this is the next prototype. In this way, the development work goes on in prototyping. Okay. Then fourth one is reverse engineering. This is another important requirement gathering technique. So as the name itself implies, reverse in the sense you are going in a opposite way. So reverse engineering is nothing but analyzing the design, creating the design with the final project. Okay. So creating the design with the final project is nothing but reverse engineering. So in all other types, what happens means, first we are going to have a documentation to the project. Based on the documentation, we are going to prepare the programming or we are going to implement the project. But in reverse engineering, already the project will be in existence. So by seeing that system, you have to develop the document. So that is nothing but reverse engineering. Creating the design by analyzing the final product is nothing but reverse engineering. So this reverse engineering we are going to use for those projects where there is no documentation or limited documentation is available, or where there is outdated documentation. So for this kind of projects, we are going to use reverse engineering. Mostly we are going to use in telecom projects. So why telecom projects? In the sense, all these telecom projects were implemented before 1980s, where there was no role of a BA and there was no documentation at that time. So the client gave requirements directly to the developers and they have developed. So there is no documentation. Now what is happening in the telecom industry? Latest technology come up. So if you see, there is a lot of difference between old technology and latest technology. So everything, all telecom companies are coming to latest technology. So to divert from old technology to latest technology, these telecom companies will approach IT companies. Now IT company is going to ask them, do you have any documentation for your old process? Then they will say, no, we don't have any documentation. Then the IT company say, first we need to know your old process. For that purpose, first I need to have a documentation for that old process. So I will arrange a BA. So he will do reverse engineering. So once we complete old documentation, then we can give you the process for new process, new technology. Then they will assign a BA. Then he will start doing reverse engineering. Now don't assume that BA is going to complete this work within 2 or 3 months. He will take nearly 2 years or 3 years, because he has to understand the complete system, and step by step he have to write the documentation. So he has to analyze each and every process, how it is happening in the system, and he has to put that in the documentation format. So that is nothing but reverse engineering. So here you can see it is the process of analyzing software with the objective of recurring its design and specification. So the program itself is unchanged by the reverse engineering process. The software source code is usually available as the input. Reverse engineering is not same as re-engineering. Okay. Then next one is focus groups. Another requirement gathering technique is focus groups. So the main objective of the focus groups is to identify exactly what user required before doing user interface. Okay. So for that purpose, we are going to have these focus groups. Okay. So here also we are going to gather the requirements in a highly interactive way. Whatever the requirements or attributes that are required for a project, we are going to gather in a highly interactive way. Okay. So in focus groups, there will be two types, like homogeneous group and heterogeneous group. So homogeneous group means the people who are from the same background will fall under homogeneous group, and the people or stakeholders who are from different backgrounds will fall under heterogeneous group. Okay. For example, if you are developing a finance domain project, so the stakeholder or people who are from finance domain will fall under homogeneous group, and the people who are from different domains, like it could be insurance or it could be HR, they fall under heterogeneous group. So why to divide the group into homogeneous and heterogeneous means, so homogeneous group people, they won't show that much of anxiety or that much of curiosity while developing the project, because they are from same background and they will think, okay, we are going to know, we know what is going to happen in the next step. But when it comes to heterogeneous, so these people are from other background, so they will be very eager, they will be very anxiety to know what is going to happen in the next step. So in that process, when you keep on explaining about the project, they will keep on raising the doubts. So they will ask different kinds of doubts. Now, if you come across a doubt which is not at all expected by you, okay, now you will take that doubt as a requirement and you will start developing that requirement. So that's the reason we are going to put it in homogeneous and heterogeneous. For example, like I will treat myself as homogeneous group and I will treat you people as heterogeneous because I won't be that much anxiety. So I know what I am going to teach you next and what is that concept. So I won't feel that much of anxiety or eagerness. But you people don't know what I am going to teach next. So you people will be very anxiety. You people will show very eagerness to know. So in this process, if you have any doubts, you will keep on asking me. So that's the reason you are homogeneous, heterogeneous, and I belong to homogeneous group. Okay. So that is nothing but focus groups. So generally we use focus groups for all types of projects. Then the next one is observations. So another requirement gathering is observations. So this observations technique we are going to use for those projects where if the user is unable to give proper requirements, if you don't know how to give requirements or if he is unable to give proper requirements, or if the management want to do a project secretly without informing to the employees. So in these cases, we are going to use this observation requirement gathering technique. So here the BA will be sitting with the end user and he will keep on observing what the end user is doing, what inputs he is giving to the system, and what kind of output the system is giving. So he will just take a notepad and he will keep on noting all these points. So that is nothing but observation. So here we have two types. Okay. So one is passive observation and second one is active observation. So passive observation means here the BA is going to sit with the end user, is not going to disturb the end user, is not going to talk to the end user also. Just he will take a notepad and he will keep on writing in the notes what kind of inputs the end user is giving to the system and what kind of output the system is giving. So you can observe as many times as required till you get the knowledge on the project. That is nothing but passive observation. The next one is active observation. So in active observation, what the BA will do is, he will do the same work. He will sit with the end user. He will take a notepad and he will keep on observing the end user and he will start writing whatever he is notifying. Okay. But whenever he gets a time, he will start having conversation with the end user. Okay. He will ask why he is giving this input to the system and where the system is going to show this impact. Okay. So he will start conversation with the end user, and in case if you get a chance, he will ask the end user to give system to him so that he will work on the system and he will ask the end user to check if he is doing properly or not. So practically he is going to do. So why he is going to do this means to get more and more knowledge within short period of time, that is practical knowledge. So that is nothing but active observation. Okay. So just go through the notes once.
I'm done.
Done.
Yes.
Done.
Done.
Okay. Then next one is interviews. Another requirement gathering technique is interviews. So the objective of interviews is to know what exactly the stakeholder, what exactly the user want from this project. So for that purpose, we are going to conduct interviews, and there will be different types of interviews like professional and unprofessional interviews, then group interviews, one-to-one interview. So professional interviews in the sense we are going to intimate to the stakeholder saying that we are starting requirement gathering process and we want to interview you and you need to come here. So they will share the place, the day, time and venue details and everything. That is professional. And unprofessional in the sense without intimating to stakeholders, you will directly go, you will meet and you will start having conversation with them. That is unprofessional. And one-to-one means you will call each person, each stakeholder, and you will do interview. You will ask some questions, and whatever the answers they are going to give, you will document with those answers. Okay. And group interviews means you will take a group of people and you will give a subject and you will ask them to have a debate on that. That is nothing but group interviews. Okay. So this generally you will do for all kind of projects. Then next one is workshops. So workshops is another requirement gathering technique. So the basic reason why we are going to conduct workshops is to promote communication among the team itself. Okay. And to show that doing a project is a teamwork. Okay. And to promote strength among the team members. So for that purpose, we are going to conduct workshops. So here also there will be nearly 8 to 10 people. Like there could be users, developers, BAs, testers, all will be there. So they will sit together and they will discuss about the project. What is this project all about? What is the scope? What are the requirements? What are the business units? And everything they will discuss. So like the main reason why we are going to conduct workshop means suppose if the client is in different state and if the IT team is different state. So while conducting workshops, what happens? The client, the development team, all people will sit together so that they will have a communication so that the communication between all the stakeholders, all the employees who are going to work will increase. Okay. So that's the reason we are going to do workshops. Then next one is questionnaire. So another requirement gathering is doing through questionnaire. So when we are going to use this technique means when your client is having more branches in remote areas. Let us say your client is having nearly 300 to 400 branches which are located in remote areas, or when you want to gather requirements from 1000 or 2000 stakeholders. So in these cases, we are going to use questionnaire. So the information gathered by the questionnaire does not have much value in the project. Okay, because we are not gathering in a face-to-face conversation. So here what you will do is you are going to create a questionnaire with 20 or 25 questions with multiple choice, and we are going to send this questionnaire to the stakeholders through mails. Okay, you will send this questionnaire to all the stakeholders mail IDs and you will explain how to open, how to answer and everything. So after they are answering all this and they are going to submit, and whatever the data you get, so you are going to segregate that data and you will check what is the exact cause for the problem. So generally we use these questionnaires to take feedback from the clients or to know what exactly what kind of problems they are facing. So for this purpose, we are going to use questionnaire. Okay. Then the final one is JAT sessions. So JAD stands for Joint Application Development Program. Okay, so here the IT team and the client, okay, are going to work together under a highly focused workshop. So the JAD sessions brings client and IT team under a common roof. Okay, so the people who are going to participate in JAD sessions are, the first one is facilitators, second end users, third one is developers, fourth one is tiebreakers, fifth one is observers, and sixth one is subject matter experts. So facilitators are nothing but the BAs, and end users means the users who are going to use the system, and developers who are going to develop, and tiebreakers are nothing but above managerial level people who can take decision on the project. Okay, and observers, and then subject matter experts. So these six kind of people can participate in JAD sessions. Okay, what is JAD session means? In all other requirement gathering techniques, what happens means the BA will gather requirements, he will understand those requirements, he will document those requirements, and after that he will explain to the development team. So in case if the development team is getting any doubts while explaining, he will note those doubts and he will go to the client, he will get clarification of those doubts, and again he will come to the development team and he will solve those doubts. So this is the process how it happens in other requirement gathering techniques. But in JAD sessions, what happens means the BA will take the developer with him while gathering requirements. So the developer also going to participate in gathering requirements. Now what happens if the developer is getting any doubt, there and then itself he will solve those doubts. So here the entire process is getting shortened. Okay, so like there is no question of again the BA going to the client and getting clarification of those doubts and everything. So here the developer is going to participate in the requirement gathering. So whenever the BA does requirement gathering, technically he will analyze whether we can do or not, and whatever the doubts he got, there and then itself he will get clarification. And again BA is not going to explain them to the developers. Now the developer will know what are the requirements, so directly they will develop. So here we are going to make the process short. Okay, so 90% of the companies are going to use this JAD sessions, this requirement gathering technique, because they don't want to waste the time in the project. So we have some benefits with JAD sessions. What are those means? The first one is like it reduces the time taken for the SDLC. Okay, suppose if you do requirement gathering in other through using other requirement gathering techniques, you may complete the project within 1 year. But if you use JAD sessions, you may complete it within 10 months, because the entire process is getting a short. We are making in a short way. Okay. Then second one is it increases the quality of the product, because the developer is going to participate in the project from day one. So he knows what are the requirements, how we have gathered, and what client and user wants. So he can give a best quality. Then third one is it reduces the likelihood of the errors, which are very costly and very severe to solve later. So those kind of errors will be reduced with JAD sessions. Okay. So these are the 10 different requirement gathering techniques that we are going to use. Out of these 10, as I said, nearly 90% of the companies will be using JAD sessions, because while gathering requirements only, they want to know the developers technically if they have any doubts. So that's the reason they will send developers also to gather requirements. Okay. Then fourth knowledge area is requirement communication. So what this communication is also going to act as one of the important pillar for the implementation and development of the project. Okay, so whatever requirements we have gathered, we have to communicate to different stakeholders like developers, testers. So we have to communicate in the way they understand. So for that purpose, we are going to use UML diagrams. UML stands for Unified Modeling Language. So it is a pictographical representation of all the actions that are happening between the system, user, and actor. So it's a universal language which can be understandable by each and every software employee. Okay. So we are going to put the requirements in the form of UML diagrams. So for this purpose, we are going to use some tools like MS Visio, Rational Rows. These are the tools which we are going to use to draw UML diagrams, and we will use use cases, sequence, and activity diagrams to communicate. Okay. So while communicating, we are going to follow 3R concept. That means to communicate the right thing to the right people at the right time. So more about requirement communication, we are going to see in module number 8, that is related to UML diagrams. There I am going to explain how to communicate, what are the different diagrams we are going to use, how to draw the diagrams, and we have 4 case studies. I will make you to draw diagrams also. Okay. Then next one is requirement documentation. So documentation also acts as one of the important pillar for the implementation and development of the project. So once you gather requirements based on the project, you have to do documentation. So for implementation projects, you do one kind of documentation. For maintenance and for any for enhancement and for migration projects, you will do one kind of documentation. So what are the different documents that are prepared by BA? How to do these documents, and what are BRS, SRS, FRS, S4W, how to prepare this, what are the contents, and how to do this documentation. Everything I'm going to explain you in module number 6. So if you have my course content, you can open. So module number 6 will be documentation. In that module, I'm going to explain. Okay. Then the final one is solution assessment and validation. So what is solution assessment means? The activities that are done by the BA for the benefit of the organization is nothing but solution assessment. That means once if a project is having a particular problem, then what kind of activities the BA is going to do to solve those problems and how it is going to benefit to the organization. That is nothing but solution assessment. And validation means while keeping this solution in process, what kind of problems we are going to face. So we are going to identify those problems and we will ensure that we are not going to fall in those problems. That is nothing but validation. Okay. So solution assessment and validation we are going to do with requirement management. Okay. So this is sixth knowledge area, that is solution assessment and validation. So just go through the notes once.
I'm done.
Done.
Completed this also?
Done.
I'm done.
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 Completed this also?
No, not yet. Done.
So these are the 6 knowledge areas. So the BA should have complete knowledge on each and every knowledge area, on each and every area. So if you deeply observe, these 6 knowledge areas contains each and every role of a BA. It explains each and every role and responsibility of a BA. So that's the reason these 6 knowledge areas are also known as the stages of a BA or the daily in and out work of a BA. Okay. So by this we have completed our module number 4, and tomorrow we will start with module number 5. Okay. So you people can leave, and Hemim you can stay back, others can